I started sailing on a Snipe in Kansas City, Missouri. My father picked up an old wooden Snipe around that time also, and my father couldn't come out to the lake, so I got somebody to drive me out there, and I turned the boat over, and I went down to a local marina, and I bought Interlux paints, and I painted this thing, and I fixed it up. It was a really old boat, and I got it all done and let it harden for a while, and I was out at our lake cabin by myself, feeding myself for about a week, doing all this. I put the boat in, and I didn't realize that these old wooden boats had a swell, and within an hour the boat had sunk. It was still afloat, and I kind of learned from somebody else that that's what happens, and you let them sink for a while, and then you bail them out, and they're fine. I wanted to sail when I was 7, and so I took an inner tube and a piece of plywood, and I stole a sheet, and I got out on the lake, and I sailed down the lake. I floated down the lake with a sail, holding it up. Got to the other end, down at the dam and at the marina. They called up my parents, who were kind of frantic. Where was I? And came and got me. It was hard work. I never had built a boat or worked in fiberglass before, and I had heard Mike McLaughlin was getting out of the business, going to shut it down. I called him up. That was late September. By Thanksgiving, I was living in Chattanooga, where the factory was, and working at the factory. December 15th, 1986, I owned it. There were times, there was 1992, I think, I was the only employee. We didn't have a lot of orders, and at that time I was the only employee all through the spring, and that was kind of scary. It was fun in that I got to work on the boats and rig the boats, and talk to people on the phone, and work with customers, and just do a little bit of everything in a business, and so it was fun. I can remember that my bill to Harkin for a Snipe was someplace between $500 and $600. That was back when they had magic boxes. And you've got to remember that Harkin really promotes boat building by giving the builders 66% off. They give their dealers of the hardware, I don't know, 45, 50% off, but a builder, pays $33 for a $10 block. So there is a lot that goes into a Snipe. The funnest thing I had was taking each of the functions, like the Cunningham or the Vang, and figuring out what would be a really industrial engineering approach to putting the boom Vang in, getting the maximum power out of it, and I really enjoyed that. And also I felt I did a really good job of making the boat easier to sail. I consider a sailing class and sailing in general to be a fraternity. It's a very small group of people. We will call each other up and say, I'm passing through a town, I'd like to see you, and of course I'll say, well, will you stay with us? When you have that kind of camaraderie, even though we're all tirades on the race course, we're still friends. And at the end of the day, that's the most important thing to the majority of people, that we remain friends. And as such, you're not going to try to screw somebody over that's your friend. Once you're into a boat, that's your boat, and it's usually your boat for life.